forgot to unmute myself, so we'll start over. Take two. Happy Saturday, everybody. My name is Robin, and I'm with Robin's Egg Blue Creations, and I'm also an independent designer with Couture. So we will be using Couture products this morning. I thank you for watching me this morning, either during the live or the replay. So if this red box is not right there, that means you are watching the replay later. Once you hop on, say hi in the comments. Tell me where you are watching from. Tell me any big plans that you might have for Saturday or for this weekend. I also want to let you know that I am using an online platform called StreamYard. So I am live in 3 locations this morning. I'm live on my business page. I'm live on in my private group, the Robin's Egg Blue Creations Crafty Collab. If you haven't joined, go join. And I'm also live on my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed there yet, please go subscribe and turn on notifications. So like as in Monday when Facebook and Instagram were down for most of the day, if it hadn't have started working before I was live again, you could have found me on YouTube. So make sure you go subscribe to my YouTube channel. All those fun things. Jason says hello from upstairs. Also, if you are live in my group this morning, if you wouldn't mind giving StreamYard permission to use your profile name, there is a link for that access in the description of the video. So just click that link and StreamYard will have access to your profile name. Otherwise, you just show up as Facebook user in my comments and I don't know who I'm talking to. So we will go ahead and get started. I have this cheesy puff container that I decided to recycle. So we're going to try to make it into a little porch decoration that I can put some lights in. I have already washed it down a few times with some rubbing alcohol just to get the oils and such off of it. And my apologies, we are going to be using a retired transfer, but this is the bone chilling transfer from last year. I really wish they would have brought it back, but it just has all of these cute little skeleton pieces. Like there's his pelvic bone, he has some feet, some hands, and all in his torso. So we're going to be using that. I've also found a few spiders from my stash that we'll be adding on as well. So I'm just trying to find the cleanest side. So I'm probably going to, even though I've used these transfers before, these are reusable about 8 to 12 times, depending on how well you take care of them. They are sticky backed. I can't stay, but hopped on for a moment to say hello. Well, hello there. I'm glad you're able to watch this morning. These are sticky back. All of the, wherever you see the clear or the white portions, that is a silk screen material. So as I pull this off, you'll notice that the eyes come with it. So if you were using a vinyl decal, the eyes and the nose would be separate and you run the risk of losing them, all that fun stuff. And I haven't written the name on these just because they were in pieces, but so I am going to fuzz these just because these transfers tend to stick on plastic and glass a lot more than they would stick on a normal surface. So I'm just taking my fuzz cloth. You can use a terry cloth towel as well. You can use your shirt. You just want to get a layer of lint. And if this happens to happen, if it folds over on itself, don't panic. Just peel it off carefully. If it's super stuck to itself, go run it under some water and get those sticky sides wet. And then if you slowly peel it off, they will unstick from each other. So I'm just going to lay this down. It doesn't necessarily have to be straight. Just making sure I have enough room for it. I'm just going to rub it carefully down. I'm going to take the lid off. And I'm just going to put my hand underneath just to give it some stability so I can hopefully get a better adhesion. And if you're worried about this giving, you could always stick a pillow or something inside. But as long as I don't press too hard, it should still work. Okay. fact, I might just leave it that way and I'll stick my hand in there. So I'm going to just use white. I'd like to use a shimmer, but I'm afraid I don't think it's going to be opaque enough. So we're just going to use plain white. I might get ambitious and maybe put some shimmer frost over the plain white, but we'll see. Let's see what happens. My white was starting to separate a little bit, so I decided to stir it a little bit. I'm just going to grab a squeegee. I'm going to stick my squeegee into the chalk paste. And I'm just going to rub my squeegee down. Oh yeah, that gives quite a bit. Down the silk screen material. So I want a light hand. You were trying to share the video, but the button isn't available. Are you within the group or are you on my business page? If you're in my group, which you're probably in my group because you're showing up as a Facebook user, it may be that I have to, let me see here. Un momento. It might be because I had a moderation alert. So we'll see maybe if it appears, maybe hop out and hop back in and see if that's why. It was kind of in limbo as a post because I had a moderation alert. I thought I'd turned all that off though. I don't know. Facebook's being really wonky and they've kind of changed a bunch of stuff, so I don't know. So I'm just trying to even out some of my squeegee lines. It's a little bit difficult because I can't press as hard as I normally do. Okay, so I'm going to peel that up. Yeah. Oh, it's because we're both right. It's because it's a private group, so you can't share anything out of the private group. So I'm just peeling it up very gently because it's super stuck. So I'm just going to let that rest over there in my wash bucket. And this dry tool doesn't get it doesn't get super hot, so I'm not terribly worried about melting my container, but I still want to be kind of careful. Hey, Kendria, you were able to get to my personal page, shared it. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate that. How are you doing this morning? What are you working on today? Okay, so now we're gonna put his noggin on. And I've got my towel over here to fuzz it a little bit. And you saw that it's been used. I did fuzz it and it's still stuck really well. Oops. And I am gonna take that top. I'm gonna remove one of his neck bones, which I had it covered earlier and I uncovered it. Here's the super thing about Chalk Couture is that if you're working on some specific surfaces, like plastic, glass, chalkboard, certain chalkboards, metal, it comes right off. So I have removed one of his neck bones. Kendria says she's gonna work on some cheer signs later, but right now you're running around taking kids to cheer activities. That seems to be the thing to do this morning. I have another friend who's taking her daughter to cheer practice. So I'm just going to grab an extra backer sheet here because I don't want this portion of the sticky material to stick down to where I've already pasted, because it has a tendency to pull it off, especially on plastic. Because with plastic and glass, there's not a whole lot of tooth that the paste can stick to, and so it will pull up easier on glass and plastic. Okay, so I'm just going to continue using white. And there's a lot more screen area on his head, so I'm going to, between the give of the material and the screen amount, I'm going to go super light, because I don't want to push the plastic in and distort the surface, and I don't want to push too hard to where I smush the screen. And make it can give and buckle if there's a lot of screen material and you push too hard. You kind of just have to learn the ins and outs of the transfers and then the surface that you're using. So I'm just kind of smoothing them out so I didn't have a whole lot of lines. Although maybe squeegee lines would make him look creepier. Okay, so now I'm just going to pull off his head. I'm going to do it nice and gentle. Okay, so I'm going to let him dry a little bit right there, and I'm going to wash my transfers just so they're not sitting over there in water. Plus, I just like to show you how easy they wash. Okay, so I've got my little tub right here, and I'm just kind of running those I'm just kind of rubbing them on the bottom of my bucket. Kind of helps give me a little bit of put him over there. And then I'm going to wet my board eraser in the same water. And then I'm just going to take my board eraser and I'm going to rub that chalk paste off. And he is stained because I used him a couple of times last year and probably the year before. And then I'm going to grab a disinfecting wipe. Okay, let's play a game while you're watching me doing this boring task. But put in the comments, put a Halloween candy that starts with the first letter of your first name in the comments. We'll play a game while we're watching these transfers. So mine would be, let's come up with something obscure. How about Rolos? Rolos would be mine. Okay, so those two are clean. And I'm just putting them right back on their backer sheet. They're not totally dry, but this way I don't forget and leave them sitting out all night long, because I have done that before. So just leave those over there. Okay, so let's put that to the side. So put a Halloween candy, type out a Halloween candy in the comments. It has to start with the first letter of your first name. Okay, so we'll just give him a quick dry. jujubes, Jason, jelly beans, you might not have, well, besides those two, Jolly Ranchers, okay, so now let's give him some appendages. So, I won't use this pelvic bone, I don't have room. So I think we'll wrap. You didn't think of any of those. I used my noggin. You are welcome. So let's give him an arm here, an upper arm. And I'm going to try to use this multiple times without cleaning it. So we'll see how it goes. So I'm just going to dip my squeegee into the paste. And I'm just going to drag it down the silk screen area. Okay, so there's one upper arm. So I'll go on this side. Let's give him another upper arm. And I'm just going to gently wipe it down just because it may have chalk paste in it. So we'll just use the chalk paste that I already have on there. Okay, so then we'll go back. Let's make sure this guy's dry. I don't know if you saw in my stories earlier this week, we kind of have a skeleton theme going on with our Halloween decor. We have a 12-foot T-Rex skeleton inflatable in our front yard. I'm going to do a skeleton yard art sign later. It's like a 45-inch tall skeleton. He kind of looks like Ahmed the Terrorist from Jeff Dunham. Okay, so then I thought this would be kind of cute to add. So we'll add the upper arm, the lower arm here. Excuse me. So looks like I am going to be able to get 4 uses out of this before I clean it. And if you get a clean scrape, you can get 3 or 4 uses out of it before you have to clean it. And I only usually do that for littler pieces. Let's get him dry enough just so I can turn him. And then we'll put this guy right there. We'll just use what's left. Oops, I got a little bit of a bubble. Okay, so I think he's done. So we'll dry this arm. So he's coming to life. Okay. Then I always have to figure out which hands, so the thumbs go in. I always have to think a little bit. I'm not going to fuzz these because they're small enough that I don't think they'll stick that much. So I'm just making sure that it's good and stuck. So now I want you all to run out to the store and buy a big container of cheesy puffs, or a big old container of animal crackers, and you can make your own yard art. Okay. Let's flip him over, find his other hand. These were specifically these were the Cheetos cheese paws, which are super yummy, by the way. And they coinkadinkly have a yellow lid, which is perfect for Halloween. I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes you just buy stuff because you really want the container. Although I'd heard that the cheesy paws are really good. So I was kind of wiping all the gunk off of the side. I don't take very good care of my paste, which is probably, yeah. Okay, so now he has a couple of different hands. I'm going to set this upright and let everything dry, and then we'll wash these transfers off. Bring my towel back over. My board eraser and my wipe. I'm just going to use my board eraser on the front and my wet wipe on the back. Oops. About stuck that to the wrong side. There's one hand clean. There's another hand. Okay. This back side of wipe, and we'll be good to go. Okay. So we're done with the skeleton. So I think we're just going to add some spiders next. Put all that away to dry. Make sure that his hands are dry. What he looks like so far. He looks super cute. There's one hand and the other hand. And then I think we're going to add some of these cute little spiders. So I have some black paste. I am going to fuzz these because these are super sticky. And I think one of them hasn't been used yet. Put him here. I'm just going to use black. And again, just dipping my little mini squeegee in the black paste. I'm going to use a light hand because this the plastic on this bucket is kind of has a bit of a give to it. But as long as I don't press hard, it'll work. There's one blue creepy spider. I think I'll put another one kind of going over the side and the back. And again, as long as I just gently rub him down to make him stick, we should be okay. And now I'm just going to peel him off. We're left with another creepy spider. Give those a good dry. So this is one of the other cool things about Couture is you can mix and match transfers. You can just use a portion of the transfer. Go to the other side and we'll add a few more spiders. And I can keep the container after Halloween, and I could maybe put a Thanksgiving on there, or just wipe this Halloween design off and put on another Halloween design next year. There's another spider. We'll just put one on the back. So I've used this transfer again 4 times before I've had to clean it. I could probably use it a few more times, but so there's a couple more creepy spiders. I'll let that one sit a little bit in the water. Clean up a little bit before I get that stuff everywhere. I'll dry these 2. this spider. And he has not been used at all before, so I'm going to fuzz it a few times. I just want to get a layer of lint on the sticky part. That way it is not so sticky that it, when I go to pull off the transfer, that it stretches or distorts, because that could, then your transfer won't work like it's supposed to the next time. So let's add this spider up here. Just trying to get him evened out. And then pull him up gently. He's going to stick quite a bit, even though we did fuzz him. There's one spider. Just add another one over here. So we'll peel him off. Let these, get those guys dry a little bit. Couple more spiders. Let's put one. We'll put him upside down, or he can. Just put him right there. Get a little bit more paste. Then we'll do, I think we'll add one more up here at the top. Amazing how you're able to take trash and turn it into something cool. Yep, that's the, I mean, if it has a flat surface, it can usually be chalked. Okay, we'll make him kind of wrap over the top of the bucket. I used the first time I used the skeleton transfer was on a 5-gallon bucket to make a patio bucket, so it had an LED light in it. It was really cool. So we'll peel him off. So he's kind of going up and over the top of the bucket. Okay, we'll just let those hang out. I'm going to put my excess chalk back in my jar. My fingers got a little messy, but the cool thing is chalk paste comes off. It goes on. It goes on hard form, and it is water soluble on most surfaces. On wood, it will stain, especially your highly pigmented colors like red and green and black. Those will stain, but it can be sanded off, and you can reuse that surface. But again, like on plastic and glass and Couture chalkboards, you can completely wipe the design off and reuse those surfaces. So I'm just going to clean up these spiders real quick. Get my board eraser wet. My water's pretty dirty, but it still works. But as you can tell, black will most likely stain a little bit. As long as the silk screen is clean, that's all that matters. The green will most likely stain, depending on what colors you use. But you just want to get that silk screen material clean. I'm just sticking him back on. Get the other one out and get him cleaned. And I just like to rub the front on the bottom of the bucket, and it gets most of the paste off. And you'll see this one is curled a little bit just because it stuck so well to the plastic. So when I pulled it up, it kind of tends to curl up like that. But once he dries on his backer sheet, he'll be good, and he'll be good to go again. Try to get some of this black off. Okay, it's pretty good to go. Find his backer sheet. And I'm going to put him up. Oops, I put him on the wrong side. See? And I'm going to put him upside down just because he is slightly curled. And as he dries, he'll uncurl. Okay. Put that over there to dry. So I think we are good on our bucket. I'm going to dry these two spiders real quick. Okay, so I've got a couple of light options over here. You could buy a gigantic strand of lights and just shove it down in there. Or you could get one of these strobe lights. I think it'll fit in there. So you could put that down in the bottom. Of course, bottom is, so you could put that down in there. Oops. So it kind of flashes on and off the sides of the bucket. Or I've got this strand of lights. And what I'll probably do is tape the lights toward the sides of the bucket, and then I can fill the inside up with like paper shred. That way the lights have something to reflect off of. But I'm just going to stick them in like this for now. Oops. And so most of them are pointing down. So we can turn them to where they're not all pointing down. So you can put a bunch of little lights in them. But again, I would probably tape the lights toward the edge of the bucket and then fill the bucket with some paper shred. I just usually get like colored construction paper and run it through my paper shredder. And then you can get some filler that way. Or you could go to the dollar store and get some of their paper shred. That's my little project for today. You can see all the little spiders. He's super cute. So go get you some cheesy puffs, eat them all up, and then you can turn it into a cute little porch decoration. There you go. Thanks, Jason. He's cute. It's a good way to recycle a container. And we'll see how long he lasts. As long as I don't scrub, you know, if he gets wet, he should be okay. He may run a little bit, but getting wet and not having anything scrub on it, he should still be okay. And if you wanted to keep him, you could totally spray this with a clear sealer. It might fog up the plastic a little bit, but that actually wouldn't be too bad either. So I may actually shoot him with some spray sealer and see what happens. It's always fun to experiment, see what happens. So thanks for watching today. I will be live again on Monday, and I should have the new Christmas countdown kit, and I will be chalking that on Monday. So, and I may actually have a deal for that, a special shopping deal in my private group. So if you're not part of that private group, message me, because you'll definitely want to be in there on Monday and Tuesday to see that deal. But I'll be live again on Monday at 7:45 p.m. Central Time, and I hope to see you there. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and thanks for watching. Take care.